welcome back to the Explainer. You know how it is. You're scrolling through the App Store, you see a really clean, simple-looking app, and you just hit download. Well, today we're grabbing one of those apps, a basic notepad, and we're going to peel back every single layer to see just how much thought and design and tech actually goes into making something feel simple. So this is the promise, right? This is straight from the app's own description. And the magic word in there is effortlessly. It's supposed to be intuitive, clean, your go-to for just getting something down fast. It all sounds wonderfully straightforward. Okay, so let's really get into it. Because that one word, effortlessly, while it hides a whole world of decisions, of architecture, and some really clever design. This is the big question for us today. What's really going on under the hood here? Right, so let's start with first impressions. You open the app for the first time, and yeah, it absolutely delivers on its promise. It's just a clean, uncluttered digital page, pretty much begging you to just start typing. That's simplicity by design, for sure. The whole pitch is really compelling. It's for notes, it's for lists, but hang on. Notice those two keywords right there from the App Store page, securely and offline. These are huge clues that there is way more going on here than you'd think. Let's just, keep those in our back pocket. All right, it's time to peel back that first layer. Because as soon as you tap that little New Note button, you realize that simple doesn't mean basic. Not at all. It means focus. Instantly, you get a choice. See, you're not just getting a blank page. You're getting two totally distinct, really powerful tools. You've got your classic text note for ideas, and you have an interactive checklist for managing your tasks. Two different functions, one super clean interface. That's the first big sign of some sophisticated design work. And the organization just goes deeper. You create a note, you can give it a color, you can pin it right to the top so it never gets lost, and of course, you can search for anything instantly. So this isn't just a random pile of notes. It's a whole organizational system that's designed to feel so fluid, you barely even notice it's there. And get this, just look at the level of detail here. When you go to color code a note, you don't just get, red or blue. You get 16 different options, everything from salmon to aqua to lime. Now, that's not random. That's a very deliberate choice to give you this rich visual way to sort through your own thoughts. So we've got all these great features, but let's go back to that offline promise, right? If your notes aren't being sent up to some server in the cloud, where do they actually live? Okay, let's go even deeper and take a look at the app's brain. I mean, this is the million-dollar question for any offline-first app, isn't it? If there's no internet, how in the world does it remember your grocery list or that genius idea you had at 3 in the morning? The answer, it turns out, is surprisingly elegant. And the answer is a local SQLite database. Now, the best way to think of this is like a tiny, super organized filing cabinet that lives only inside your phone. It is fast, it is secure, and it doesn't need the internet to do its job. And that means your data really, truly stays with you. And if we peek inside that little filing cabinet, look at this. It's just incredibly logical. Every single note gets its own unique ID. It saves the title, the content, a little flag for whether you pinned it, and even the exact hex code for the color you picked. It is a perfect digital blueprint for every note you make. And what about those checklists? Well, for that, the app uses something called a JSON string. The easiest way to think about it is like a secret recipe that the app writes down for itself. This little recipe lists every single item on your to-do list and remembers perfectly which ones you've already checked off. It feels so simple on our end, but behind the scenes, it's a really clever system at work. Okay, this all sounds fantastic. It's packed with features, it's private, it works offline, but it's also free. And that brings up that classic question, right? If you're not paying with your money and they're not selling your data, how does the developer keep the lights on? The answer is advertising, and the app is actually very transparent about it. You've got two kinds. There's a small banner ad that just sits quietly at the top of your main notes list, and then there's a full screen ad that shows up every now and then when you switch tasks, like when you go to open a note to edit it. But here's the thing, even the ads are designed thoughtfully. To make sure you're not just sitting there staring at a loading screen, the app actually preloads them in the background. It's a small detail for sure, but it shows a real commitment to keeping the experience smooth, even with monetization in the mix. So all of this, the offline storage, the ad model, it all builds to the final and, frankly, probably the most important layer of this app's design, its entire philosophy around your privacy. And this says it all. This is a direct quote from the app's data safety section on the Play Store. It's not buried in the fine print, it's right there like a headline. It's a clear, unambiguous promise. The stuff you put in this app is not a product to be sold, period. And that right there is the real power of that offline-first approach. It means your notes never have to leave your device, which gives you total privacy. The core features work anywhere. On a plane, in the subway, you have complete control to delete whatever you want, whenever you want. Ultimately, that one design choice puts you and only you in charge of your information. So we started with effortlessly simple, and we ended up with a multi-layered system with dual functionality, a local database, a privacy-first philosophy. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next time you open one of those apps that just feels simple, take a second to appreciate all the hidden complexity that is working perfectly just to create that feeling. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.